Hey, I'm Matt from Dynamic, and today we're going to learn how to design and implement our sign up and login UI. We will focus primarily on using the SDK. You could also do this in a headless manner and design everything yourself by using the API. But because there are so many edge cases when it comes to login and sign up, like multi-chain, multi-wallet, I suppose switching between things like email, social, there are lots of edge cases, and the SDK helps to handle a lot of those for you. So I thoroughly encourage you to give it a look. It also means you don't have to build it yourself. I will show in this video, and it's important to know that you can customize the SDK to no end. Everything I'm about to show you, you can apply the design principles of CSS variables, completely custom CSS, and other options such as themes to make sure that it is exactly how you want it embedded into your app as your product. Okay, let's get going. We are going to cover two main approaches, a modular approach and an integrated approach. We're going to use the components here in the React SDK reference, and let's start with the dynamic widget. The widget is an all-in-one component which wraps a number of other components up for you into one neat package. Let's have a look at what it looks like. Here it is to start. And again, when it comes to customization, you can change everything about this, from the text itself, the translations, everything. Completely up to you. Now what you're seeing here is the first component that the widget wraps for you, which is the connect button. You can also use this on your own, as with every component it wraps. Here's the connect button. Once you click that button, it pops open a modal. Now here, we sign up or sign in. Let's sign in with MetaMask. And from that point on, we see the navigation. This is another wrap component right here, dynamic nav. Again, you can use it by yourself if you wish to. The network picker, the connected account, and so on. Now, if we open these three dots, we also see a user profile. That's the third component, which is wrapped right here. So you get all of these out of the box and they all work seamlessly with each other. But should you wish to use any on their own, there is normally a hook which you can open and close them with, and so on. So that's the widget. It's pretty nice, I have to tell you. Again, it's all in one, or you can use the things which it wraps separately. Really important point here. You see that this starts with a button, which pops open a modal. Now, sometimes that's okay, but sometimes you might not want to embed this button and pop-up into your app. Instead, you want to embed directly the sign-up flow. So instead of dynamic widget, you can use dynamic embedded widget. Let's have a look. If we change that here and turn on dynamic embedded widget instead, we see that it's embedded directly into our application. The configuration that you see here is obviously completely customizable. It doesn't look that fantastic for now, but we'd like to show each other what you can do straight out of the box. Again, the fact that there are wallets here and email down here, it's something completely customizable, and there's a link to all of the different configurations available below this video. That's the embedded widget. It's got three kinds of background: default, none, and with border. You can see in the playground here what those look like. I'm a particular fan of none, embedding it directly as if it's your own application. Super cool. So you use that exactly as you would the dynamic widget. That's pretty much it. That's the out-of-the-box UI. Each one has its own props, which you can navigate through in the documentation. Once again, you have the widget or the embedded widget for an integrated approach, and you have the individual components which they wrap if you want to embed certain things in different places. Do be aware, though, that you don't necessarily want to duplicate things. You see the nav here. We recommend you don't render the dynamic widget along with the dynamic nav. So some things should be kept separate, because obviously one renders the other, right? Super. Going back to our design decisions, whichever one you choose, you can customize the theme of what shows up. you can override the CSS variables to completely change how the widget looks. And if there's anything here which doesn't exist yet, you can see it exists for the connect button, the modal, text, and other things. You can completely change the CSS using Shadow DOM, as you can see here. There's an overrides which you can pass in, either passing your own style sheet, for example, or directly these styles as a string here. Completely up to you. So you got plenty of options. There is a design tutorial available to you here, which again I'll link below the video, which walks through how to use them. Thank you.